Nope. I took care of it.
Hey, welcome to the Captain's Quarters podcast. Boy, our gallery is like looking empty, Davey.
Yes, I'm not sure why that is. Hey, we're back with Instagram. All right.
Have we done something wrong, or we just don't
No,
have
no.
anybody?
There's 3 people watching so far
I don't see it.
on YouTube. So
Well, I don't see anybody. That's weird. I see nobody and no questions. How many do you see?
Up by where it says the red live, and there's the little eye thing. So there's 3 people are watching from YouTube. So I'm not sure.
Huh. Strange.
Yep, Jim's on. Hi, Jim.
I see Jim. Okay, here we are. Well, we can go on with the show now. Cheers. We have Jim here. We'll see what happens. All right.
And Tinker's on.
John Boyd. I see Tinker. Very good. So we'll give everybody a few minutes, but everybody knows how you find it. There's Ransom Mayhem. I wonder what the delay is. Weird. Kind of a strange delay. Maybe we need to consider that.
Oh, they're all coming on now.
Yeah, there's Donna. Davey, what did we do?
I don't know. Ransom said we all froze, so he signed off and then got back on, and it's all fine. So
all right, so everything was good. Hopefully, everybody will pick it up.
Will the historian's here? So
well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 141st episode of Captain's Quarters podcast. 141 episodes. Can you believe that? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, our YouTube is doing well. I actually, Davey, you may not know this, but when I was going through our channel earlier today, I clicked on one of our shows and a car commercial popped up.
I've been seeing different kind of commercials on there. Yeah.
That means, and I've got the paperwork to finish it off with Google. That means that they're putting money in on. We got to get that taken care of ASAP this week, because that's more money that will be coming to Captain's Quarters podcast, which is a good thing. So let's see. On that note, Davey, how do we find our show? There it is, ladies and gentlemen. YouTube, the QR code, Captain's Quarters podcast, every Monday night at 8 o'clock. All you got to do is get on that QR code and then go to our channel, share it with your friends, take a picture of it on your phone and share it with your friends. Let everybody know. The more people we have, the stronger we become. And you can like us, follow us, and subscribe to us. All 3. We love to have you doing that for us. So be a part of our crew, the Captain's Quarters podcast. And as always, we start off with 8 Bells, sponsored by the Riker family of reenactors. Now, ladies and gentlemen, be ready for this. I'll put this announcement out. All of our sponsors are now up on the renew their ideas as part of our show. So we'll be talking to all of them, and some of our sponsors may be moving around a little bit, but we'll see what happens. But 8 Bells, sponsored by the Rikers family of reenactors. And, well, they do Spanish, they do pirate, they do British, they do colonial. They do it all. And they're a good port of the St. Augustine swashbucklers also. How many do we have tonight, Davey? 6. A couple of them I may know who they are already. So let's see what we got. Wilbert Francisco Cobbs, an American actor known for such film roles as Louisiana Slim in The Hitter, Walter in Brother from Another Planet, Reginald in Night at the Museum, and Master Tinker on Oz, the Great and Powerful. He also played Lewis Coleman on I'll Fly Away, Jack as on the Michael Richards Show. In 2012, he had a recurring role as George in the sitcom Go On. In 2020, he won a Daytime Emmy Award for Outstanding Limited Performances in a Daytime Program for the series Dino Dana. He was 90 years old, ladies and gentlemen. Lieta Sika Alimatuana, and I'm not going to go with the last one, better known as Sika, was an American Samoan professional wrestler known as one half of the tag team, the Wild Samoans, with his brother Afa. They held the WWF World Tag Team Championship 3 times, were inducted into the WWF Hall of Fame in 2007 and the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame in 2012. He was a member of the Anoa's family and the father of professional wrestlers Rosie and Roman Reigns. He was 79 years old. Jewel Brown was an American jazz and blues singer. She performed alongside such artists as Dizzy Gillespie and Louis Armstrong. Brown was inducted into the Blues Smithsonian Hall of Fame in 2007, and she was 86 years old. Rob Stone, an American music, media, and branding executive based in New York City. Stone was the founder of the full-service marketing agency Cornerstone and co-founder of Music and Style Publications, The Fader. He was 55 years old. Martin Eugene Mull, that's one of the ones I knew had passed on, an American comic actor whose career included contributions as a musician and painter. Mull gained visibility on screen for Mary Hartman, and its spin-off Fernwood 2 Night. His other notable roles included Colonel Mustard in the 1985 film Clue, Leon Karp on Roseanne, Willard Kraft on Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Vlad Masters, Vlad Plasmius on Danny Phantom, and Gene Parmesan on Arrested Development. He had a recurring role on 2.5 Men as Russell, the drug-using humorous pharmacist. He was 89 years old. Gary E. Grant, an American trumpet player, composer, and producer, and session musician who had played on hundreds of commercial recordings. Gary has collaborated with a variety of artists such as Barbra Streisand, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Celine Dion, Toni Braxton, Brian McKnight, Frank Sinatra, Natalie Cole, Earth, Wind and Fire, Go West, Take Six, Elton John, and Aerosmith. Additionally, Gary has worked with producers such as David Foster, Glenn Ballard, David Grusin, Babyface. In addition, he was guest artist with the Chicago One Horns. He was 77 years old. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what we have for 8 Bells. And as always, we raise a glass, we give them honor, and to their fans, their families, and their friends, we give you honor as well. 8 Bells, Davey. I just saw a message there on the thing. Hold on a minute. My hesitation on the reading this time is because I neglected to wipe my glasses clean. There it is there. I was actually in the wrestling wing with the Samoan brothers here in Panama City for an event with the Cancer Society. How cool is that? Did you beat them? All right. Will the Historian says, speak up, can't hear you, fighting an ear infection. Oh. What's that? I didn't catch it. Okay. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for Mini Mayhem and Joke of the Week. Am I right there, Davey?
You are right.
And it's sponsored by Salt City Comics, our good friend, our comic artist out of Utah, who's done our great characters and logo. And that logo is going to be put on a flag here real soon, too. But right now, Mini Mayhem, bring them out.
Ahoy, mates! Mini Mayhem here with Joke of the Week, sponsored by Salt City Comics. Why do pirates never retire? Think about it and I will give you the answer at the end of the show.
Why do pirates never retire? That one will be a curious one. Let's see what happens. Davey, I was just looking on our screen. Up in the left top corner where the timer is, there is a black box with an eyeball and the number 11. Is that the number of people watching us?
Yeah, and if you move your cursor on it, you'll see Facebook. How many people are watching from the Facebook, our Facebook page, and then the other one will be how many are watching on YouTube.
Oh, very cool. See, I just learned something new. I'm learning all kinds of new stuff, but not so I can replace Davey, just so I understand what's going on. Because I would never, ever try to replace Davey because, well, I don't want to do that much work. All right. So, quote of the week, ladies and gentlemen, is presented to us by Spyglass Travel. And I just ran into Kevin, the owner of Spyglass Travel, over the weekend, and we had a good talk. He is number 8 in the entire United States of small time or mom and pop or walking tours around the United States. Number 8, ladies and gentlemen, is beating out even the bigger ones. So that's something for you to know. Spyglass Travel. You want a good walking tour of the oldest city in the nation? That's it. Spyglass Travel. And get some exercise on the way. Work on that cardiovascular. Upon that, well, let's just see what we have for quote of the week. Experience is one thing you can't get for nothing. That is very, very true. Which always reminds me of something I always like to share with people. I love it when people call me up and say, "Hey, can you come perform for us? It will be great for your experience and your resume." Ladies and gentlemen, I have been a professional magician since I was about 16 years old. I'm 65. Do the math. I have some really good experience under my belt, some great things along the way. Experience doesn't pay the bills anymore. So there you go. So you can teach an old dog new tricks. You sure as heck can there, Ransom Mayhem. You sure can. Absolutely. I'm not worried about it. Upon that, we have a new segment now called National Day Of. And Davey's been working hard. We've been working this. This is something we've been smoothing out. And Davey now has overlays for us to look at. So Davey, you put them up. I'll read them. Today is National Ginger Snap Day. Hungry? National Ginger Snap Day on July 1st is a day for celebrating a sweet and savory cookie treat that contains molasses, cloves, ginger, cinnamon, and brown sugar. The combination of sweet and spicy has long been enjoyed for generations, and we're going to show you why you should celebrate National Ginger Snap Day today. Yes, I do. Ginger snaps with a glass of cold chocolate milk is wonderful. What's the next one? National Creative Ice Cream Flavors Day. Ice cream, you scream. We all scream for ice cream. July marks National Creative Ice Cream Flavors Day as a day to sample or wonder about the odd combinations of ice cream flavors. Skip the traditional chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry ice cream when you celebrate this on this day. National U.S. Postage Stamp Day. On July 1st, National U.S. Postage Stamp Day recognizes the ease and simplicity with which we can send and receive mail. A stamp represents payment for the delivery of a letter or package. Follow along as we stamp out a few facts and few unknowns on National U.S. Postage Stamp Day. And going right along with that, National Postal Worker Day on July 1st recognizes postal workers all across the nation and encourages us to show our appreciation. Thank the numerous men and women who work consistently and diligently to deliver all of our mail. These employees suffer some of the harshest working conditions, yet continue to persevere 6 days a week. What was that saying? Neither rain nor snow nor dead of night. There it is, ladies and gentlemen, National Postal Workers Day. Very good, Davey. Thank you for that. I think that's going to be a segment that we're going to add a sponsor to. Question of the week, sponsored by Ancient City Sirens. Ancient City Sirens, they will provide all the dance you ever need. Belly dance, tribal, fusion, you name it, they can do it. Miss Gina is very, very talented and provides some of the best talent around as far as dance is concerned, and she has some of the best dancers. It is always a joy to have her with us, and I will brag about this. Miss Gina and I have been working unparalleled for 18 years together doing events all over the state. I can't say enough good about her, and there you have it. So what is our question of the week? What is your favorite ice cream flavor? I happen to think that Rocky Road is probably the best. But let's just see what some of the rest of you think. Maybe there's a ginger snap ice cream. That would cover two things right at the same time, wouldn't it, Davey?
Aye.
Ancient City Sirens can also now do fire dancing. Very good. Thank you, Nightingale. I think I knew that. I just didn't think about it. Let's see. Will the Historian, he says, I left Santa some ginger snaps one year. All he left me was a note that said, maybe next year. Let's see. They are actually delivering mail here on Sundays. I think they're delivering mail in a lot of places on Sundays now. Homemade chocolate chip ice cream. That kind of takes care of the cookie and the ice cream all at the same time. I'm also partial to vanilla and pralines, but that depends on my sweet tooth. So we'll see if we got any other answers through the show. But ladies and gentlemen, if you want to put up there your favorite cookie, your favorite ice cream, whatever it is, we'll see those and we'll put them up there. I'm watching now. I have the ability to do this just like that, or like that, or like that. I have the ability. I have the power. Anybody know where that came from? He-Man.
Oh, He-Man.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time, sponsored by Florida Water Tours, to have This Week in Nautical History. Ladies and gentlemen, This Week in Nautical History with Water Tours. Why does that keep popping up there? I keep trying to make them go away. There we go. I guess my cursor is cursed. Ladies and gentlemen, Florida Water Tours. You want a good boat trip across the Matanzas to see the Night of Lights or St. Augustine from the water? Take Florida Water Tours. Go to them, talk to them, and be a part of what they do. Go ahead, Davey, This Week in Nautical History.
Welcome to This Week in Nautical History, sponsored by our friends at Florida Water Tours. Experience the Intercoastal Waterway at its finest, featuring picture-perfect attractions. We begin This Week in Nautical History in the year 1699. Pirate Captain William Kidd is captured in Boston. 1779. French fleet occupies Grenada. 1798. Napoleon's fleet reaches Alexandria, Egypt. 1816. French frigate La Méduse runs aground under incompetent leadership of Viscount of Chamorés. 400 passengers evacuated, 150 men, 1 woman are left on La Machine, a poorly provisioned raft. 13 days later, only 15 survivors remain. Inspires Theodore Garrigalt's painting The Raft of the Medusa. 1898. U.S. Navy defeats Spanish fleet in Santiago Harbor, Cuba. 1911. The German gunboat Panther arrives off Agadir, allegedly to protect German interests and nationals in Morocco. 1940. World War II. British Navy bombards neutral French battle fleet at Mers el Kherber near Oran, French, Algeria, to prevent Axis powers from taking the ships. 1,267 French servicemen die, 1 ship sunk, and 5 more damaged. 1943. U.S. invasion fleet, 96 ships, sails to Sicily. 1947. 192 meters long passenger ship, William Roos, launched. And finally, in 1957, first submarine designed, to fire guided missiles launched USS Grayback. And that was this week in nautical history.
So, ladies and gentlemen, along with the nautical history, I'm going to do one other thing. If you remember, 2 weeks ago, we had this pirate flag with now a couple of autographs on it. It was part of a jump during the Normandy D-Day invasion, the 80th anniversary. Well, we got the plaque over the weekend. Here's the plaque. So I thought I'd read it to you real quick. Certificate of authenticity. This certificate is presented to the St. Augustine Swashbucklers. This flag was jumped on 7 June 2024 at the, I have to turn to the light, at the Mont Saint Michel to commemorate the 80th D-Day anniversary of Operation Overlord. The jump was conducted from a veteran C-47 Pegasus, which flew in the original invasion in 1944, dropping paratroopers behind enemy lines. The aircraft made several crossings the night of June 6, 1944. 3 other D-Day veteran aircraft jumped on the 7th of June, and they were That's All Brother, Placid Lassie, and Dragonaut. This will go up on our wall, and one day we'll probably have to turn the camera and show. We have several things that are commemorative to the St. Augustine Swashbucklers, the Captain's Quarters podcast, and the pirates that all work with us. So I thought that would be an interesting point there. New adventures, past, present, and future. Don't have anything from the past. We've pretty much covered everything, unless I missed something, Davey. I don't believe I have.
No.
Present, we don't really have a whole lot going on. Let's see. We had a good meeting last night with the St. Augustine Swashbucklers, and Spooktacular 2024 is underway now. And future, couple of things. As of this afternoon, there'll be a gathering of pirates from several areas around the state of Florida coming into St. Augustine. They're coming to a tour with Captain Mayhem at the Pirate Museum on July 13th for the 3 o'clock tour. Afterwards, we will adjourn to either the Colonial Oak or the St. Augustine Seafood Company to have a tasting of rum. We might actually go over to City Gates Distillery and do the same thing, so we get several flavors of rum and just enjoy some time with all these pirates that will be coming in from out of town. This is a last minute kind of a thing because that's only about 7, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days away. Something that just happened on the spur as of this afternoon. So I will be opening up to any of the crew of the Swashbucklers or any other pirates that would like to come and hang out. Come hang out with us. You can do the tour if you like. You don't have to. Just consider that about 4:15 we'll be wandering the streets of St. Augustine. On that note, we have one other thing going on. Many of you know, Davey, do you happen to have a poster of the movie in your computer?
Yes, I do.
Pop it up if you can find it quick.
Sure.
Many of you know that we did a movie, and we did the movie with Vesta Millard and all of her friends. It was the 4th movie in her witch series, and this one was about witches and pirates coming together, and we helped her out. Well, that movie is now almost in the can. There's the poster for it. Time will tell. And a lot of it was shot in the Marina of St. Augustine, on the Colonial Quarter grounds, in the Pirate Museum. A lot of shots were done there. Of course, the Ag Center and Alia's Acres provided other locations. We are going to do, the movie is still in its stages of, what's the word I want to use here, Davey? They're still editing. There it is.
Yes.
That's the word I want to use. They're still editing some of the parts. There's some things that still have to be melded and blended together. And so what we're thinking, the plan right now is this. Sometime in the first week of October, there will be a grand premiere of the movie to the public. And you can come and watch the movie. It's only 31 minutes long, but we're also hoping to, I just saw a post. I hate it. I get so distracted. We're also talking about bringing in some pirate music And many of you know who I would like to have, and I've got a tentative on that. And so we're going to just turn it into a party for the viewing and pirate music, but we're going to also make it a fundraiser for Alia's Acres because they provided a lot of other things for the movie. So a payback for them and to give them some money. So it will be a fundraiser. The two dates that we're looking at are October 5th and October 11th. I believe we're leaning towards the 5th as it stands right now, but we'll see what happens. I always like to do things on a Saturday night because it gives people an absolute better opportunity if they're coming in from out of town. So be watching. We'll probably have that solidified by the end of this week. So we'll talk about it on next week's show. It's also in time for it to be a good promotion for Spooktacular, which will be at the end of October. And be ready because first weekend in February 2025, we are going to do Old City Pirate Day and maybe extend it into Sunday and do Old City Pirate Day and a half. But we'll see what happens. So be watching. We'll be putting that information out there to everybody. On that, do you have the poster for the T-shirts?
I do.
We had a few other people inquire. We're running our T-shirt deal all the way up to the 31st of August. A portion of the money goes to the St. Augustine Humane Society. Another portion of the money pays for the T-shirts, and then a little bit of it goes towards the podcast to pay some of the monthly fees that we need to pay. So there's the QR codes. Click on them. Go ahead. I'll be going at the end of the week to both Venmo and PayPal to see how things are going and taking down the names of everybody that has bought T-shirts. By the way, on September 2nd, we will let everybody know that your T-shirts are either here or on the way, and we will have some kind of a drawing or some kind of a way to thank all of our people that bought T-shirts to help us out. I think that's it for Adventures, Davey. I don't really have a whole lot. We're in the slow part of the season. Everything is now prep and getting ready for things going on in September, October, November, December. Oh, by the way, it just came into my head since Ransom Mayhem is there. Remember this, October is the Pirates of the High Seas Pirate Festival, which is Columbus Day weekend. Ransom Mayhem can correct me. I don't remember which weekend it is, but I think it's like the 8, 9, 10, and 11 time frame of October. So mark that in your calendar, and we'll be advertising that one starting next Monday also to give everybody a good lead time. On that note, we have no guest tonight. We were supposed to have a guest, but at the last minute over the weekend, that guest had to bow out because of other things going on. 11th, 12th, and 13th. Thank you very much. October 11th, 12th, and 13th. So without a guest, and at the last minute, it's always hard to find another guest. And it's also sometimes I think you call somebody up and go, hey, we lost a guest. You want to be our guest? I don't like to make anybody feel like they're second fiddle. So we decided to do a talk about the 4th of July and a talk about one of your most important rights as an American citizen. Anybody know what that is? Davey, you know what it is, right? Let's see if anybody answers real quick. What's one of your most important rights as an American citizen? Let's see if anybody answers us up here.
I would expect Jim to, but hey.
Well, let's see if he does. I see no answers yet. So I'll do a drum roll and tell you this. Voting is one of your most important rights and privileges as an American citizen. And we thought we would talk about it and the 4th of July. So let's talk about voting first. Federal voting laws. There were several laws passed over the years to help protect Americans' right to vote and make it easier for citizens to exercise that right. The Civil Rights Act of 1870 made it, these protections were first outlined. Let's see, let me start over. Civil Rights Act created some of the earliest federal protections against discrimination in voting. These protections were first outlined by the Civil Rights Act of 1870 and were later amended by the Civil Rights Act of 57, 1960, 1964, and the Voting Rights Act of 1965, prohibiting voter discrimination based on race, color, or membership in a language minority group. It also required certain places to provide election materials in languages beside English. So that's very important to know. much important to know, in fact. Constitutional amendments affecting your right to vote. Freedom to plead the fifth. Yeah, that's important too. Freedom of speech, freedom to plead the fifth, but we're going right to go sleeveless, bare arms. So now we've got comedians in the group. Right to vote. It's very important. Freedom of religion. We're sticking with freedom of vote. Your right, your privilege. And the 15th Amendment in 1870 gave African American men the right to vote. Note I said men, the right to vote in 1870. But many weren't able to exercise this right. Some states used literary tests and other barriers to make it harder for them to vote. The 19th Amendment, ratified in 1920, gave American women the right to vote in 1920. So women have only had the right to vote for just over 100 years in this country. The 24th Amendment, ratified in 1964, eliminated poll taxes. The tax had been used in some states to keep African Americans from voting in federal elections. That was eliminated. And the 26th Amendment, ratified in 71, lowered the voting age for all elections to 18. Nightingale in Florida says that Native Americans were the last to get the vote in 1947. That's a good one to know. Also, just a quick personal opinion. I believe lowering the voting age to 18, but having alcohol at a certain age and firearms at a certain age makes this country even more confusing. I think it all ought to be the same across the board, but that's just me and could be the opening of a very good conversation, but we're not going to do that tonight. We just wanted to give you some ideas of things that were important about Article 1 of the Constitution, giving you all these rights. Now, if you're in St. Johns County and you want to vote, we have a friend who's part of our crew that works for the Office of Elections here in St. Johns County. So he provided us with a little bit of information. Davey, you got that website? Register to vote Florida.gov. If you go there, you can make sure all your questions are answered so that you can vote. And let me see here. I've got some dates for you. It's very important. Early voting, August 10th through the 17th. Election day, August 20th. You can request a ballot to be mailed by calling the office, the election, or going to online vote SJC, that's St. Johns County.gov. Now, voting is very important, and a lot of people are arguing it, and some of the politicians are making it one point of argument for this election, because there are some states that have already passed local laws that immigrants have the right to vote. And some of that may spread further. I truly believe that citizens of the United States should be the only ones allowed to vote for the leaders of the United States of America. I truly believe that. I don't want to make this an argument with anybody, but I just believe if you're a citizen of the United States, whether you're a natural citizen or you're an immigrant that has earned your citizenship status, and there are many ways to earn your citizenship status, ladies and gentlemen. One of the best and most, to me, one of the most favorable ones is some immigrants that have come to this country, especially during the Second World War and the Vietnam War. They came to this country and immediately enlisted in the United States military. That granted them the privilege of being a United States citizen because they were defending the United States of America. I can't see anything or any way that can be argued. But I truly believe that if you're a citizen of the United States, one, you should exercise your right to vote. And those people that are upset, and this is happening this year, it happens every year, but there's a lot of people, I watch it on TV, and people say, well, I don't like either candidate, so I'm not voting. Well, guess what? That doesn't help either. And here's one of the other things that I do when it comes to having a conversation about whether our political leaders are doing a good job or a bad job. Here's what I always ask first. Did you vote? If you tell me, no, you didn't vote, then as far as I'm concerned, you don't have an opinion. You didn't get involved in the process to pick a leader for this country, so it doesn't matter that you disagree or agree with them, because you didn't get involved in the process. Now, I know we're not supposed to be too political with this show, and I try to be very, very careful about it, but I believe that voting is a very, very, very important thing that you should do. And it is a part of a way for you to display your patriotism, to be a part of the process to elect the leaders of this country. You don't have to agree with all the leaders, but you do have to agree that the right is very important. Let's see. Another good one. Nightingale says, "Do not vote out of fear." Yes, that's true. That's probably going to happen too. There are a lot of people that don't like one of the people that we have running for president because they're scared of that person, and you're going to vote against him. The lesser of two evils, is that the way you look at it? People need to vote with their brain and not their heart. I wish there was a litmus test that we could put to everybody to make sure that that's the way it was done, but it doesn't happen that way. I say, let's vote a pirate as president. I'm okay with that. We can have the pirate party. And I say, not this year because it's too late to gather up enough money to advertise, but the next voting would be in 2028, right? 2024, 2028. Yep. So I'll tell you what, let's gather up the money and let's make Mayhem for president. And we'll have all the other Mayhems be a part of the presidential cabinet. There you go. Pretty sure none of the presidents qualified to be honest enough to be a pirate. I would agree with you on that one, Jim. I totally would. Voting is very important, ladies and gentlemen. As you can tell, I'm adamant. I know Davey is, but Davey likes to sit there and just make sure the buttons are pushed proper. But notice he smiles and nods. You can tell when Davey is going to agree or disagree with something the captain says. All you have to do is look at his face. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, a few things. Pirate Party. Yes, that's it. The Pirate Party. I don't remember which president it was that said a chicken in every pot, but here's how I look at it. If I'm going to run for president, we'll give a bottle of rum in every home. Will the historian wants to be VP or Secretary of Education? I'll give you Secretary of Education. That would be a hell of a pirate party with all the Mayhems. That sure would. And I'm sure we could find a whole bunch to be a part of it. So, ladies and gentlemen, on a serious note, please check your dates locally wherever you're at. We're getting ready to vote in St. Johns County for county commissioners. And I didn't realize this. Davey, did you know that the sheriff is up to be voted on again too?
No.
Yep. So Sheriff Hardwick, I've seen posters everywhere about Sheriff Hardwick, but I've seen at least one other candidate running against him. We've had Sheriff Hardwick here on the show, and we have to be very careful of one thing. If I give a complete endorsement to one candidate, to be fair and to keep our show as fair as possible, I have to give to any other candidates in that same race. So I'm just going to leave it at that for now. And it is probably many of the voters over the past 3 to 4 elections must still believe in Santa Claus because they voted for the candidate who promised the most gifts, whether they did it or not. Yes, that's how some of them get their voting. They promise the world and don't give it out. We could have a whole show on just talking about the politics of do's and don'ts and how you should pick. And I'm so tempted to say a few things now. And it just, gosh, I love to talk politics, but I like common sense. I know that my son is very up on talking politics because he does so in a perfect fashion with the school children that he teaches. And he teaches them all about your rights and your amendments and everything else. So it's very important. And since it's the 4th of July coming up, we thought that talking about voting for just a few minutes is very, very important. Go out and vote. As I heard somebody else say, vote right away and vote often. All right. But I did bring something else up that we want to do. I have believe it or not, 25 trivia questions that are attached to the 4th of July. I see something else just popped up here. Let me see here. Let's see. I am sorry. I am sorry Santa isn't real. This is news to me. Santa is real. You'll see him here on our show in December. Corporations are really the ones running the country with their money and their lobbyists. Yes, to a degree, you're absolutely right, which then I'm going to say this. I hate it when I hear politicians, and I'm not going to say which side, you all figure it out, but I truly hate it when I hear politicians say, we've got to tax those corporations and we got to tax the wealthy. Do you actually think they're going to pay that? They will, if they're part of businesses and companies and corporations, they will levy the tax or push the tax downhill. And the American people, the common everyday folk, will be the ones paying for it. It will mean that the price of goods will go up because the corporations, the businesses, and the wealthy people will not lose money. They will do everything they can to make sure. So higher taxes hurts everybody if you're taxing the businesses and the corporations. It hurts everybody. And I just don't understand how some people in certain political parties don't get that. I just don't get it. So, Will the Historian says, let's see, no more higher taxes for anybody. That's from Nightingale. Will the Historian says, I should go ahead and just do this. There we go. You shouldn't vote political party, but for the candidate who embodies your beliefs. Absolutely right. And Will the Historian says, fair tax can work. It can. I believe it can. And there's only one thing that is keeping the fair tax from going through. I believe the only thing that's keeping the fair tax from going through is that the IRS is the largest arm in the United States government. And there's a lot of politicians that don't want to put all those people out of work. And as you've seen over the last 6 to 8 years, well, guess what? The IRS has been used as a mobile arm to hurt people that disagree with other people. Delete the IRS. Jim says, delete the IRS, collect the federal tax as a fair tax for everyone, 10% every time you buy something, no matter who you are, and no exemptions. And I totally believe and agree with that completely, because here's how it works. If everybody's paying it, that means, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, take it this one step further. That means that if you're a 9-year-old buying a toy, you're paying taxes. That means if you're a illegal criminal drug dealer buying a car or a house or whatever else, you're paying taxes. Everybody in the country will be paying taxes. That's why a fair tax works, or could work. They just don't want to put all those people out of business. Federal sales tax with food and meds exempt. Well, most food is already exempt. Meds could be exempt, and I would agree with that. But a 10% across the board would actually work out. It would raise the price of everything, but if everybody understood that the price is being raised by that 8, 9, 10, 11% to cover the taxes that you're paying, and it's all going to the government, our deficit would be taken care of. From some things that I've seen, our deficit could be taken care of if they switch to a flat tax within 10 years, because everybody that spends money is paying tax. Now, there is one other exemption to that. It has to be understood. It's on new products. With some, for example, if I bought a refrigerator and then 5 years down the road, I don't need that refrigerator because I'm going to buy an upgraded one. When I sell the used refrigerator, the person buying the used refrigerator shouldn't have to pay taxes on it. Taxes have already been paid on it. Let's see, what's this say? If you're poor, you pay less. If you're rich, you spend more. Want a tax break? Don't spend the money. You're already paying taxes with everything you buy. Absolutely right. So the more you spend, if you're rich and you spend lots of money, you pay lots of taxes. If you're poor and you don't have the money and you have to watch your budget, you're not paying as much taxes. That's as simple as it can be. And having the meds and the food exempt from this means that you're still not harming the people with a lesser income. What is that? It just popped up on my other screen. We're going to have to put it away. Hold on. Something else popped up, but we're going to take that out. Very good. All right. History of the 4th of July. Davey, perfect timing. Go ahead, and then we're going to do our 25 trivia questions.
Okay.
Most American colonists were still loyal to King George up until the 1770s. But when England subjected her subjects to increased control over colonial affairs, it started a revolution. A 5-man committee was appointed to draft the Declaration of Independence. This outlined colonies' desire for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. On sunny July 4th, the Congress approved the Declaration of Independence. The first July 4th celebration happened on July 8th, when the document was publicly read in Philadelphia. The crowd reacted with gunfire, bonfires, and fireworks. This custom was borrowed from England, of all places, which is how subjects rang in their king's birthday. Only in the colonies, they were celebrating the king's symbolic funeral. As King George sat safely on his throne in the summer of '76, his likeness in crudely fashioned dummies was burned in the colonies. In New York City, the equestrian statue of King George was hacked up and reportedly smelted into bullets for the revolution. 1 year later, citizens of Philadelphia honored Independence Day with fireworks, bonfires, and music. During the Revolutionary War, troops celebrated the Declaration's anniversary with double portions of rum. Actual bombs replaced the fireworks. After the colonies won their independence, cities across the U.S. relived the revolution by participating in the July 4th revelries. Men commemorated the day by gathering in taverns to drink and argue over the new nation's leaders. It was a purely American custom to freely criticize the government. On the 50th anniversary, by eerie coincidence, both the Declaration's author and its editor, Thomas Jefferson and John Adams, died July 4th, 1826. Eventually, Americans looked at Independence Day not so much as a day of rebellion, but as a day to appreciate the rights bestowed on them. In 1870, as America was healing from the Civil War and African Americans were freed from slavery, Independence Day became a recognized holiday. But if federal workers wanted to spend the day picnicking, they did it without pay. That changed in 1938, when Congress voted to make Independence Day a legal holiday. Since then, the holiday has been celebrated in good times and in bad, in war and in peace. American communities rally together, all because of that small act of bureaucracy in 1776 that started a free nation.
Very good, Davey. The History Channel gives us a lot of things. It's really good. The 250th anniversary of our country is in 2 years. Yep, you're absolutely right. Old people should not have to pay taxes either. I agree with that, and I'm getting old. So here, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to read a question. You got a second or two to give us an answer. Be quick on your keyboards if you can. And some of the answers may have been in that video you just saw. That's why we're doing it in this order. What was the first celebration of independence? Where was the first celebration of Independence Day held? Click clock, click clock, click clock. Anybody know? Philadelphia. And how many times does the Liberty Bell ring every Independence Day? All right, Jim got Philadelphia. My house after the divorce. All right. How many times does the Liberty Bell ring every year in recognition of the 4th of July? Anybody know? I'm going to go ahead with the questions and we'll go back and I'll give you answers as they come along. What was the name of the newspaper that published the Declaration of Independence? The 4th of July commemorates which document? That's almost answered in the question before. How about, what is the proper way to fold the American flag? I'm going to answer this one because it gets difficult after a while, and I've had to do it in a triangular shape with specific ritual and etiquette. All right. Declaration of Independence. Denise Esser says, that's right. That is the answer to the 4th of July commemorates which document? The Declaration of Independence. Got the triangle right. Very good. 2 of you did. Very good. Question you did not get. How many times does the Liberty Bell ring every year in commemoration of the 4th of July? Anybody get that one yet? The answer is 13, by the way. Grommets, end of the flag, last to tuck inside the fold. Absolutely right. Let's see. Next question. Which American president was born on July 4th? Anybody know that one? Anybody know that one? Oh, Zachary, you fold your crew flag the same way? I'm just more pirate. I just wad it up and put it in the bag. Calvin Coolidge was born on July 4th of 1872. Will the historian, I believe, didn't Jefferson die on the 4th of July? John Adams died on the 4th of July. They were not born on the 4th of July. According to this, Calvin Coolidge, July 4th, 1872. Which president of the United States was the first to host a 4th of July celebration at the White House? Anybody know that one? I'll give you the year. 1801. Which president was that? Come on, Will the historian. Here's an easy one while I'm waiting for the answer. It was not John Adams. It was Thomas Jefferson. This one's too easy. I'll answer it because it's just too easy. How many stars and stripes does the U.S. flag have? 50 stars, 13 stripes. According to this, everybody's getting John Adams or Madison. It was Thomas Jefferson in 1801. What is the location of the nation's oldest 4th of July parade? I guess it's not St. Augustine, according to this. It is, anybody know? John Adams was the first in the White House. Anybody know where the first 4th of July parade was held? Anybody at all? Philadelphia is a good answer, but not right. Philadelphia is not the right answer. Anybody else want to try? I'll give you a hint. Smallest state in the colonies. Boston is a city, but it's not Boston, Massachusetts. It is Bristol, Rhode Island. Believe it or not, Bristol, Rhode Island. What was the total number of people who signed the Declaration of Independence? I didn't even know this one. Anybody know? The total number of people that signed the Declaration of Independence. And we'll add one more to it just to make it fun. What is the largest signature on the Declaration of Independence? So how many and largest signature? Anybody know? I'm waiting to see if anybody gets this one. The number of people who signed the Declaration of Independence. John Hancock is the largest. Very good. Absolutely right. What's the number? Anybody else know the number? How many signed the Declaration of Independence? 13. Nope. Not even close, Ransom, believe it or not. Herbie Hancock. Around 40. Jim, you're close. Believe it or not, 56. 56 signers of the Declaration of Independence. All right, this should be an easy one, but let's see. Will the Historian got 57. Yep. All right. Every 4th of July, what food is most commonly consumed? The most commonly consumed food of the 4th of July. I'll roll down to another question while you're thinking about that one. That was question 11. Question 12. What is the name of the national anthem of the United States of America? Hot dogs is right, Ransom. Hot dogs is right. Very good. Beer is not a food, Denise, but I guess for us pirates, we could consider it part of the food group. Pie. Zachary Harker. Pie. No. Hot dogs. And what is the name of the national anthem of the United States of America? Do any of you know? Star Spangled Banner is absolutely right. Very good. Who gave the Statue of Liberty to the United States? What country? Anybody know? That's an easy one. What country? Number 3 of them came to St. Augustine as prisoners. Do you know which ones they are? Jim, I do not know, but if I go down to the town square, I believe there's a plaque that tells us who they are. Isn't that true? All right. And France did give us the Statue of Liberty. The people of France, to commemorate 100 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence and to celebrate a friendship between France and the United States. What was the Statue of Liberty's official name? Anybody know that one? The official name of the Statue of Liberty. That's an interesting one. Who wrote the poem on the Statue of Liberty? Oh, that's a good one too. I don't see that in here. So what's the official name? And who wrote the poem? The official name is not Lady Liberty. It is not Lady Liberty. D, while we're waiting for everybody to answer what the official name is, tell us who wrote the poem, because I'm not aware of that one. So now we've got 2 out there, the poem and the official name. And I'll give you a couple of seconds more. And the official name of the Statue of Liberty is Liberty Enlightening the World. That is the official name of the Statue of Liberty. And D, you can tell us what that poem is whenever you're ready. Let's see here. Let me get back over to the other screen so I can scroll down. This one's too easy. Emma Lazarus wrote it. Very good. So close. Absolutely. The Great Colossus. I believe it's. I got it. I believe it's Lazarus. Yes. All right. Very good. Emma Lazarus. Very good. Okay. Here's one that's just way too easy. Where is the Liberty Bell currently located? Way too easy. I should go ahead and answer it and put everybody out of the misery of that one. All right. And while you're answering that one, Thomas Hayward, Arthur Middleton, Edward Rutledge. I knew Rutledge. It is in Philly. Yes, absolutely right. It is in Philly. So going back to the hot dog one, they actually have a number here. This is outstanding. How many hot dogs are consumed across the United States every 4th of July? Anybody know? Anybody know how many hot dogs? Waiting. What was the Pledge of Allegiance writers by whom and all and for? Why am I trying to squint my eyes? When was the Pledge of Allegiance written by whom and for what reason? That's a good one. Will the Historian says 650 million hot dogs. Well, believe it or not, you are over by 500 million hot dogs. 150 million is it. Nightingale says too many. Ransom says 150 million. I'm thinking Ransom may have already started looking things up. Very good. All right. We got number 17 was the largest signature on the Declaration of Independence, John Hancock. Which 2 presidents of the United States died on the 4th of July of the same year? We already covered that one. John Adams and Thomas Jefferson, both July 4th, 1826. This was also the 50th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, which they both signed. Yes. Why did American colonists dump tea into the harbor during the Boston Tea Party? It was a way to protest British rule over them, including taxation without representation. Where is that one? Let me go back down here. Hold on. Davey, I can't find the one that's stuck up there now.
Which one?
The 650 million?
Oh,
Where is it?
okay.
There it is. Okay. All right, good. Davey shows me how this stuff works, but I'm still slow, ladies and gentlemen. What was the estimated population of the United States of America, or the United States, on July 4th, 1776? That's a good trivia question. Anybody know what it was? Anybody have a close idea what it might have been? The tea tax, yes, the tea tax, because the water was right there. Because they worked to save the rum. They wanted to save the rum. Anybody know what the population of the United States was on July 4th, 1776? Anybody know? 600,000. Will the historian? That is not the right answer. And you are short. Sorry, so the Native Americans could be blamed and not the colonists and the colonists would not. Yep, that's true. So since I did get one answer, believe it or not, the estimated, let me look at this, the estimated population of the United States on July 4th, 1776 was 2.5 million. 2.5 million, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what else. I've got a couple more of them here.
Bam. I'm a hot dog. Bam. I'm a hot dog.
Bam. I'm a hot. Thank you very much. On July 4th, which classic children's book was published? It was published on July 4th, 1865. Anybody know the name of the book? Nightingale says, did the census include the enslaved? Using common sense, I would say no, it did not. But that's a question that would be well worth researching. I was just counting white men. Damn, Davey, I just thought my computer screwed up.
It scarred him.
Scared a couple of you with that. Showing Captain Mayhem dancing as a hot dog. All right. So the book published on July 4th of 1865, believe it or not, I'm surprised a few of you didn't get it. Alice in Wonderland. In what year were fireworks first used to celebrate the 4th of July? I was in that video that Davey showed, and that was 1777. Who is the author of the Pledge of Allegiance? I think Dee asked that earlier. Who was the author of the Pledge of Allegiance? I've got it right here, but do any of you know? The author was Francis Bellamy. I only have two more questions. And this next one, question 24, it's pretty important. I never gave this any thought. During World War II, where was the Declaration of Independence stored? Anybody know? Where was the Declaration of Independence stored during the Second World War? And which country declared independence from the United States on July 4th, 1960? Jim, you're absolutely right. It is Fort Knox. And anybody know which country declared their independence from the United States on July 4th, 1960? If anybody gets this one, I will be very impressed. While you're thinking of that last one, Davey, you want to go ahead and do we have anything else besides your 4th of July?
No.
Why don't we do that and then we'll go into the rest of the show?
Let's do which one?
Guam. No, it wasn't Guam. It was the Philippines. The Philippines. Go ahead with that one, Davey, then we'll finish out the show for the night.
Do which? This Week in History?
Oh, that's right. We got to do This Week in History. Go ahead and throw This Week in History up while I go ahead and get back to my paying attention to my script.
Welcome to This Week in History, sponsored by our good friends at Dick's Wings Bar and Grill. Wings, salads, wraps, quesadillas, and more. No matter what your taste buds crave, they've got you covered. We begin This Week in History in the year 1776. First vote on Declaration of Independence for Britain's North American colonies. Also, later on in 1776, U.S. Congress proclaims the Declaration of Independence and independence from Great Britain. 1836, U.S. President Andrew Jackson announces to Congress bequest by James Smithsonian of 100,000 gold sovereigns to found Smithsonian Institute in Washington. 1863, Battle of Gettysburg begins in Pennsylvania. Union forces halt Confederate General Robert E. Lee's Army of Northern Virginia. 1865, Mary Surratt, Lewis Powell, David Herold, and George Atterbury are executed for their role in the conspiracy to assassinate U.S. President Abraham Lincoln. 1874, first zoo in the United States opens in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. 1883, Buffalo Bill Cody presents first Wild West show, North Platte, Nebraska. 1885, Louis Pasteur successfully gave an anti-rabies vaccine to 9-year-old Joseph Meister, saving his life. 1898, Theodore Roosevelt and his Rough Riders charge up San Juan Hill during U.S. successful assault on the city of Santiago. 1901, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid rob train of 40,000 at Wagner, Montana. 1904, third summer modern Olympic Games open in St. Louis, the first held in the United States. 1962, Sam Walton opens his first Walmart store in Rogers, Arkansas. 1970, Atlanta International Pop Festival opens. 200,000 attend over 3 days. Performers include Allman Brothers, Grand Funk Railroad, Jimi Hendrix Experience, Richie Havens, Cat Mother and the All Night Newsboys, B.B. King, Mott and the Hopel, and John Sebastian. 1972, feminist magazine, Ms., founded by Glory Steinem, published its first regular issue with Wonder Woman on the cover. And finally, in 1980, comedy film Airplane, written and directed by David Zucker, Jim Abrams, and Jerry Zucker, and starring Robert Hayes and Julia Haggerty, premieres. And that was This Week in History.
Good job, Davey. Good job. I see D is saying good night. This is little mate Devin. Mimi D, let me watch you because I have been good for her while my mom and dad are on vacation. Well, it's good to see you there, little mate Devin, and thanks for being a part of our crew. We always like that. Mott and the Hoople.
Thank you. I've never heard of them.
Yeah, a little before your time. Jim says this week in 2003, no good idea was thought of by the city commissioners. I probably would have to agree that happens more often than not. So let's see. I'm answering questions along the way here, and we've done that. Normally,
the original thought next.
What's that?
You have original thought next.
Yeah, that's from the desk of the captain. I didn't write anything for this week. Original thought was last week. I didn't write anything for this week because I knew that we would probably talk a little bit about rights and privileges and voting, and then we kind of got into the taxation thing. So I try to make sure that we limit how much controversial we put on this show. So
Okay.
we're going to bypass that. Guests on deck. Ladies and gentlemen, next week, I believe we're talking about Superman.
Yay.
After that, we'll be doing the book Sea Beasties with Michael Lopresti. Sam Moon, who's actually coming to visit me on the 13th, will be coming in, and we'll be talking about the start of 1930, July 21st, the Veterans Administration, and his pirate crew that is an all-encompassing group of veterans from around the state. July 29th, we don't have anything yet. Who knows what we'll do? August 5th, 12th, 19th, and 26th are booked. As you can see right there, I don't have to read them. And I'm working on 2, 9, 16, and 23. I know that I'm trying to get the tasting tours in here and a couple of others, so we'll see what happens. On that note, it's time to bring Mini Mayhem back.
Yay.
Okay, it's time for the answer to the joke of the week. Why do pirates never retire? The answer is because they enjoy being senior citizens.
He's got a weird sense of humor. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I think the guy that comes up with the jokes is just as weird. All right.
Oh,
Let's
look,
see.
Will's excited, but he says he has to do a webcam before we have him on next week.
All right. Will you be doing the show from your home? And D. Esser sent you some suggestions to the email address last week. All right,
did.
very good. We'll look at those, look those over. Davey and I, we probably need to go through the emails and look. There'd be a test to vote. Should there be a test to vote? Seriously informed voters get it right. My office here at home. Okay, so how about we make plans Sunday evening? Davey, will that work out for you?
Yeah, that's fine with me. I always like.
So Will the historian will make plans Sunday evening. We'll do it about 9 o'clock our time, which would be 8 o'clock your time. If you need to change that time, let us know. But let's go with that 9 8. Okay, 9 8 it is, and we'll do a test and see how it is, and we'll have a conversation, see what's going on. And Denise will go ahead and check those suggestions. I know there's a couple of other emails that Davey's got that I have to see, and we'll start working with that. On that note, Davey, show the thank you vid.
Yeah, and Mandy did give me she just sent me the new.
All right, very good. For those of you that noticed that Mandy wasn't here, she's in the real estate business in Utah. She's 3 hours behind us. That makes a difference once in a while. And she had quite a few properties to show today. So,
and internet problems.
And internet problems. So there you go. Go ahead and put the video up. The thank you.
The Captain's Quarters podcast is indeed a ship sailing the seas of the world, always in search of history, knowledge, and adventure. It takes a crew to run a ship, so we take this opportunity to thank those who help keep this ship afloat.
The casting crew: Captain William Mayhem, Navigator Davey Longwood, Gunner Hellfire Henley, Cartographer Mandy Joe, the Powder Monkey, and Juan Cam.
Helping others gives a crew purpose. Our treasured charities that we support: Inc., investing in kids; the Humane Society of St. Johns County; Alia's Acres, a no-kill animal rescue zone; and the Cadets of the St. Johns County Fire Department. The 4 major charities that we support, but there's always room for more.
You too can be part of the crew and support the show in many ways. Go to Patreon. A small monthly contribution as Powder Monkey or First Mate memberships, or a single contribution. PayPal or Venmo. Go to YouTube. Hit the like and follow buttons to join our ranks and support the show. It does take a crew. Thank you.
Very good, Davey. And show our platforms off. Every Monday night, ladies and gentlemen, YouTube. Then it goes to Spotify and Instagram. And then if you just want to listen to us, Stitcher, iHeart, Castbox, Apple Podcast, and Amazon Music. Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, we have watchers and listeners on all 8 platforms. We're very proud of that. And that means we should show our
The numbers.
Thank you very much, Davey. Good job. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, we want you to be a part of our show. So how do you do that? We showed you at the beginning, but send us an email if you like. There it is right there. Davey keeps track of that. And then anything that's specifically addressed to Captain Mayhem, he can send over or give me an idea. Although I should probably try to go over and start looking myself anyway. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's been another show, a little over an hour. I have a very long day tomorrow, starting early with tours at 9:30 in the morning at the Pirate Museum. So I am going to go and relax for a little while. It's been a pleasure to have everybody here. We thank you very much. Will the Historian will see you on the show next week. I believe we're also going to try to entice our cartoonist to come on the show also, because he's a big fan of the cartoons and the comic book. So upon that note, ladies and gentlemen, how do we sign out, Davey?
Part of the podcast.
Part of the crew. Always, we truly appreciate you being a part of our show. Tell your friends. Help us build. We're at now 1,571. We're only 429 away from 2,000. That would be a wonderful goal if we could hit it. We'd love to have you. So, ladies and gentlemen, to you, to your health, and to a good week. We'll see you next week, 8 p.m. Aye.